Edward, and this is my son AJ. This is the Casso podcast, Aristotle and the Philosopher. How you doing today, Sonny boy?
Not bad. Episode 3, feel good.
Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith.
Episode 3, better audio.
Episode 3, the signs are right.
Yeah, the
The
signs are
audio's
right.
the audio's right. We're wrong.
We're figuring it out.
Yeah,
No, I feel great. I feel great.
yeah, it's good. Those technical difficulties, we've been messing with this for a little while now, a couple months, and it's just when it springs up though, and you don't see it beforehand, it's like a new thing, and so
Yeah,
hopefully,
and then it's like, last week was rough, but
yeah, we
all
worked
right.
out the kinks for sure. So we want to talk a little bit current events, definitely a little bit of politics, a little bit of NFL. It was an exciting week. Our Broncos barely won because they did not play very well this week.
A bad win, in my opinion's still a good win.
Yeah,
It's because it's still a win. We still want to know.
I think Sean Payton he's trying to prove too much. He's like, oh, Bo Nix is the best quarterback in the NFL. He's not there yet. He's in his they were saying it on the radio that this is literally his 19th game. So give him a little break. He did not look good. He had 3 turnovers. He had 2 picks.
Bo picks,
Yeah, both picks
the Bover throws.
and the fumble where he got leveled two at the same time. So it wasn't good. CU won against Delaware. I think any FBS school would win against Delaware, so it's not saying too much, but we won. We'll get into a little bit that too in our football segment when we talk about Dion because he's not starting Juju this week. He's not even starting Salter this week. He's starting our third string quarterback. So we the third string quarterback Ryan Staub he looked good. I mean he had 2 touchdowns and so he looked good. I honestly have never seen a game where 3 quarterbacks play. Eh,
Yeah, it's gonna be a weird one.
we're gonna lose to Houston. That's my unhot take this week. That's my take it to the bank take. Bet against you this week. I'm just joking.
Talking about, I mean, dude, I'm still trying to wake up. We had a really very busy weekend.
Yes,
Me and my father personally,
yes.
a lot of long nights.
Yeah, we had a baby shower. My stepson is having a baby. It's we were back and forth. A lot of the family came in from California. It was fun, but it was like wow. It was a little bit
Yeah, a
yeah,
lot on the plate.
a lot to decompress from for sure.
But here we are. Here we are getting into it,
Here it
having
was fun.
fun.
It was fun having everyone, all of Sonia's aunts in from
It was great.
California.
It was a great
Got to
time.
see my mother-in-law. It was a fun time, and so I'm not complaining. It was fun when we were at the baby shower. We had the what was it, babies diapers for bros or
Dudes in diapers, I
dudes in
think.
diapers,
Yeah,
baby diapers and
yeah.
bros, whatever it was. It was cool. A lot of people brought diapers for the baby, and that's cool. But yeah, here we are trying to get started in this week, and it's been just because when you have something major like that, it's a little hard to get started. But here we are going, and so um, I wanted to actually touch on something that we got to a little bit last week, son. I think it was trying to prove that point that there is a generational approach to politics and to current events. I think that my generation, obviously, and again, you can't generalize and say everybody's the same for Gen X, and everybody's the same in Gen Z. That's not the case, and I definitely I don't purport to say I speak for all of Gen X and that kind of thing, and I don't think that you speak for all Gen Z, but I think your perspective in that generation and mine in Gen X is a good perspective. I think it's cumulative and it's relative. And so we were talking about, the federal government going into Chicago and right away in the era I grew up in, it was right after, not necessarily right after World War II, but we still had all that on our mind, a police state automatically right away. I'm like, oh, that's Nazi. That's Nazism. That's a police state. I don't want any troops ever patrolling our streets and this and that, unless it's really a serious emergency and that kind of stuff. Whereas, and I think you understand the historical perspective of him going into DC, him going into Chicago, that there might be something against poor people. There might be something racial. There might be a racial component to it. I think you understand all that.
I do, but
Yeah.
at the same time,
Yeah.
I don't like, you know, when the government gets too involved in my life.
Hmm.
But at some point, even personally, at what point, like at some point, hopefully not, they're gonna have to step in. You know what I mean? And that's no offense to Chicago PD at all, Um, but what's going down in Chicago? I mean, it's nothing to shy away from. It's nothing to, say that the police aren't doing enough. It's been. I have a good friend of mine. who lived in New York, and he was kind of close to
Hmm.
Chicago, and I asked him the other day. I was like, "Hey, how do you feel about this?" And he told me the same thing. Nobody has done something, so I think it's about time somebody does something. Now, in the same breath, I don't really think that it should matter for anybody whether it's a red or a blue state. If something needs to be done, which unfortunately I think the track record is all blue states are getting, you know what I mean? Um,
To start and to finish. And so that's obviously
yeah,
but that's a political problem. I'm talking about
yeah,
actually
yeah, yeah. But
having federal troops on the ground. That's a different issue. But I mean, even your friend, he's Gen Z too, and
yeah,
so you guys see, and I can understand this perspective. Not that I necessarily agree with it, but I understand that you see a federal government that doesn't do anything right,
mhm.
and so you're like, hey, well, at least let's utilize this and try to make places safe.
Yeah, yeah. It's
You're
not.
not for targeting a
No,
certain group
not
or
at all.
anything like that. But and so that's a perspective I think that, and I honestly I think that's why Trump ended up getting a lot of your generation to vote for him, including blacks and Latinos, is that he was just saying stuff that the Democrats aren't saying, in that the government should be doing something. And all the stuff that he's done, I think you probably disagree with a lot of it, like I do. I disagree
Yeah,
with
no,
all of it.
absolutely.
Yeah, but it's a perspective of, hey, they're not doing anything, so at least do something to try to make America better. Is that am I kind of summarizing what you're saying, son?
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's the best way to look about it is, you have to have hope that they're doing the right thing, that it's not like a malicious intent other than to protect what they were going to protect. I mean,
But we have this article here. But when Trump comes out with that meme, and again, it's not meme, it's meme. When he comes out with that, and it says Chicago apocalypse now and that kind of stuff, and he has helicopters flying and stuff like that, right away, it doesn't really even have to do with historical perspective. Right away, I'm thinking, what is he doing? Is he trying to kill Americans? And I think that's where we draw the line. And I think that's even your generation would say, hey, look, if he starts shooting Americans, we're going to have a different issue. But you're saying up to that point, just to make
absolutely,
the street safer.
absolutely.
Yeah, yeah,
Just
yeah.
to,
I mean, nobody, no, thank goodness nobody got shot in California when he went out to Los Angeles. Nobody got shot when he went out, into Washington, D.C., into the Capitol. And so we hope that that kind of stuff happens. But when he puts out stuff like that, it's like, dude, come
yeah,
on.
but I mean, you could just only hope that the presence of um the military being in your town would be enough to be like, okay, well, I'm probably
Well,
not
yeah,
going
you
to.
saw the crime in D.C. went down. I don't know
Yeah,
the
yeah,
exact number, but it was like, okay, no one's
yeah.
messing
We're
around
not going to do
no
this.
one's messing around these couple weekends. But okay,
And at least give, uh, in my opinion, I mean this, the wonderful cops in Chicago, give them a chance to uh, set the line how they need it, not backtracking back. You know what I mean?
but what the perspective I have too is that you can't have troops in every democratic city and think that's going to be sustainable
No,
either.
absolutely,
And
and
so,
that's what I'm saying. I don't
yeah,
think that it should matter for red or blue state.
yeah,
I think
the
what should
big,
matter is that,
yeah,
I think, and again, I'm terrible with my research, but I'm pretty
no,
sure during that press conference he said 12 innocent uh, Chicago people died, in crossfire. And at what point do you put your foot down and have to say that that's not okay? That innocent Americans shouldn't be. I mean, we're on our homeland. Why should we be afraid to walk down any street? And I understand crime is crime, and there's no way of really, really, really beating that. Um, but make the streets safer. Absolutely, I support that.
well, to kind of wrap it up on this subject, son, that's all fine and well. But their big beautiful bill, if they had used that money and put it into crime prevention, as opposed to giving billionaires a tax cut. And that's where the politics comes into it. And it's like, hey, I get the perspective, because I am all for people not dying. I'm
Hmm.
not saying that we want to have law and order in our streets just so people are safe. But the policies that they implement on the back end are directly what leads to people being in poverty and having no hope and that kind of stuff. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, it is what it is. But we'll watch it. I mean, they keep teasing that they're gonna go into Chicago. They haven't yet, but they will. And I think that will probably be a topic on this podcast, for the foreseeable future, just because
Yeah, we'll see
it's
how it goes. And
we'll see how it goes. And again, we gotta hope, and we have to have thoughts and prayers that nobody dies. And
and that's a wild thing to say, and
yeah,
I
yeah,
understand that too.
yeah,
I'm not oblivious to saying like, oh, well, we hope things go right.
yeah,
They should just go right, period.
yeah.
Um,
Now, yesterday, let's kind of stay with the subject of Trump, so then we can get to fun stuff. Well, let's get the sad stuff and bad stuff out of the way, let's yesterday they did release the picture, the birthday card that he sent to Epstein,
Hmm.
and right away MAGA and the White House press secretary herself, oh, that's not real, that's not real. Even though every fingerprint, people do fingerprint analysis, handwriting analysis, and that kind of thing. Every handwriting analyst that I saw on X said that's him.
I
And
mean, we were talking about it last week about him disappearing. The way that they handled this one, way worse.
yes,
Way worse. I mean, at this point, just I don't. I'm joking. Of
yeah,
course, I'm joking. But obviously, if he was like, "I did it," we'd be like, "Yeah, we knew. Like, we
yeah.
knew this entire time." Um,
I mean, the card is very offensive. I thought about posting it on Facebook, and I'm like, no, you can't post a card like that. Even the proportions of the card are not of a woman, but of a little girl.
ooh,
Yeah, and so it's like he's basically I
that's
don't
what I'm
know.
saying, dude. Like the way that
I
they
can't even.
went,
It's so uncomfortable to talk about even on a podcast.
the way that they went about it from the first, like, I mean, they ran on this whole idea, and I'm sure like, and this is always pure speculation, so please take everything with a grain of salt, because I'm again, we're probably, hopefully we're wrong. You know what I mean?
Well,
Um,
it depends.
well, no, no,
Well,
no, no.
yeah,
Hopefully we're
hopefully,
wrong.
hopefully we're right and he's out of office. But
No,
that's my perspective.
hopefully we're wrong because we would, we don't want,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
um,
Hopefully he's in
all
that
that
same
jazz.
cell that Epstein was
Oh,
in
that's
in the
evil.
next few
That's
months.
evil. That's evil.
Yeah. Well, yeah. JD Vance wouldn't be.
No,
He'd be worst.
but what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
the way that they've handled it completely is crazy to me. I
Yeah.
mean, even what's her name, Ghislaine Maxwell, is she getting bought out in jail? This is weird
Yes.
stuff,
And then
man.
she'll get she'll get
Yeah, I mean,
she'll get the pardon, and then oh he. I mean,
okay, yeah,
a lot of
that's the
people would
thing.
trade their their freedom for something like that.
Oh
So
yeah, that's
yeah.
the thing. If she gets pardoned, like, do we need any more evidence? Is there any evidence to get? Like that's pretty
Yeah.
much dead on the nose.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. We'll watch how it plays out. Well, I
Well,
mean,
it's like that thing, if you're telling the truth, it's pretty easy to tell the truth.
yeah, and say like,
When you
no, I didn't
when you're
do it,
not telling the truth, it's pretty hard to
but when he hit
cover it
him,
up.
with the, you guys are still talking about this guy. D- Yes,
He's like
because you were.
he's like I didn't sign that, even though it's his signature. His signature in the region where the signature shouldn't be on a piece of paper, even
Oh
just because the way
gosh.
it looks, it's like, come on, dude.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
We're still talking about this guy? You
yeah,
ran on this. What do you
yeah.
mean we're still talking about him? I mean, regardless if you're a Democrat or MAGA or conservative, uh, we all were like, oh, these Epstein files are gonna get released, and then what's her name? The um press secretary,
Oh,
whatever.
yeah.
She was like, day one, it's on his desk. He's reviewing it right now. Then Elon Musk said what he said, and then all of a sudden it was
He's
like,
like, you're in it.
yeah, all of a sudden it just didn't exist. You know what I mean?
And
And
again, Bill Clinton is still one of my favorite presidents up until they say that he was in there, and then I have nothing to do with him. And that, honestly, that's how we should all be. When
yeah,
you there's certain things in this world that are unforgivable, and that's one of them. And so, if we find out that Bill Clinton was doing that kind of stuff, I will disavow him. I'll be the first one to disavow him. But I hope that the conservative part of our country does the same to Trump if he's part of this. And so,
yeah,
yeah, and so that will be, unfortunately, that will, fortunately or unfortunately, probably fortunately for the victims, that will be a story here that we'll
no,
probably be discussing
absolutely.
here over the next few weeks too. And so it's a politics is way different than when I was in it. So,
No, I mean, just within
yeah,
the couple years, I think I made that. And this is again, no offense to either side, but there's like a video of what's his name, Obama and Mitt Romney going back and forth or
yeah,
doing a debate, and they had so much like uphold respect for each other,
yeah.
and it
He's
was
like, "You're here on your anniversary. Thank
yeah,
you for sharing your anniversary with me, sir,
and then
Mr. President."
and then Obama was like, I'd be like, or he goes, there's no place I'd rather be right now, and that was awesome, you know what I mean? And then you go back to this last debate with Trump and Biden, and Biden was being Biden, and then Trump was just eating that up
Oh
the
my
entire
goodness,
time. What did Trump say? I don't think he knows what he said either, or something like that. Just funny stuff, dude.
it's
And
funny, but
they
it's
were going back and forth. Like, I mean, it, I don't think I don't even know what the debate was about, really. It was just them fighting the entire time, which
yeah,
was pretty comical.
yeah, it was. And then the Harris debate. Oof. Oh my
So
goodness.
so I get exactly what you mean
It's just
about.
been it's been a gag reel.
Yeah,
And that,
exactly.
you know what, I'm a funny guy. I think you're a funny guy. I like laughing it up.
Hmm.
I like joking it up. But government and the
No, no,
presidency should not be a joke.
we really
Should
shouldn't
not be
be.
funny. Yeah, it should be one of those things where we're like, hey, that's solemn, but eh, at the same time, though, too, parody and everything has been part of. I'm sure it has been part of it
Yeah,
throughout history, but it's just we get to see it now instantly on Twitter and
from them, from the politicians
from them
themselves,
themselves,
not
and
yeah,
it's kind of weird. Yeah,
not a story about
I
like,
mean, yeah,
you know,
I thought if I said hell, I would never get elected again after that point.
to
I
be
really did. I mean, it was like, man, you got to watch what you say and everything, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. But this, I mean, it's these last 8 years have just blown all of that out of the water, and now here we are talking about Epstein, talking about Trump, talking about whatever we want to talk about, I guess, because that they do. Like you
yeah,
said, they do.
yeah, no
Yeah,
kidding.
they put that out there. So, all right, let's. That's scary, but let's get into something really scary that's good that's coming out for Halloween next month. I mean, no, I'm kind of joking, but the Three Eye Atlas comet. Is it a comet? Is it a Death Star? Is it a Star Destroyer? What is it? I caught hold of it when it came out because I'm one of those nerds. I follow all those tech dudes. I
Hmm.
follow all the philosophers or whatever that they theorize about what life is, what extraterrestrials are, and that kind of stuff. Not necessarily conspiracy theories, but just they focus on things like that. And so I've known about this for about a month and a half. And so one time I showed Sonia and she got all scared. She's like, dude, don't scare me. I was like, oh, it's just a comet, dude. It's not really a spaceship. But now it's not just the Harvard scientist Avi Loeb saying that it could be a spaceship. Now they're actually doing, and what's going to happen? Let me backtrack real quick. We're actually going to be able to use the James Webb Telescope on October 3rd to actually get a good picture of what it is
Okay.
because it's approaching the solar system by then. Right now, but they're saying even the chemists, the scientists that are chemists and stuff are saying that usually when there's a comet, it has distinct markers, as far as the elements that it's ejecting, while it's approaching the sun and that kind of stuff. Most every comet they've observed until this one, or very few, I think, actually have nickel and iron traces because those are those elements. I guess. I mean, I don't pretend to understand chemistry like that,
Hmm.
but those are elements that are made at the same time, and so they usually have traces in comets and that kind of thing. Well, this thing has a nickel trace, but it doesn't have an iron trace at all, and so that's what
That do you don't think that iron could have burned up with how fast it's going?
they're saying. No, they're made one and the same, and so every comet that they've ever seen or observed had both. And
Okay.
so right now they're saying, and so they're like, and they're saying that it's self-illuminating, that it's not actually getting reflected light from the sun, that it's actually illuminating itself. And so,
All right, I'm getting scared.
yeah,
How?
I scared all the ants this weekend. We even I even put it on YouTube because we were watching the podcast, and I'm like, hey, what about this? And now everybody's scared in California because of me.
Nice.
But it is scary, and we're gonna get a picture, a literal picture of it from the James Webb Telescope once
No
it gets
way
close
they
to
said.
Mars.
No way they said it's self-illuminating. That's
It
terrifying.
is terrifying. Yeah,
Because space is dead and cold, or dead and black. You know
yeah,
what I mean? Like
yeah. And so
dark.
they're able to, and again, I'm not a scientist, but they're able to use how the light reflects from the sun on a typical comet,
Hmm.
and they're saying the angle that this one's approaching. And again, we get back to what we talked about a few times on the podcast. The trajectory. It's like they said, it's like a 1 in 100,000 chance that it could be put on this trajectory and self-correct to stay in line with going past the solar system. And so it's like, wow. And again, watch what'll happen in 3 weeks. It'll just be a big rock, and we'll be like, oh, okay. But what if it's cloaking technology? What if they made the
All
what
right, you lost me, dude. You lost me. As soon as he pulled out that tinfoil hat, I was like, okay,
what
that's
what
enough.
if the probe is encased in rock, and then when it gets closer, it's like, oh,
It could be,
dude, you know what a Star Destroyer will do to a
dude.
planet? You know what a Death Star will do to a planet. But it's like, wow, it's like that's crazy stuff, bud. I ain't joking. And that one came in Moa in 2017, and once it got close enough, it's a big rock. But they still said even people to this day, including a couple of people at Harvard, are like, just because it's a rock doesn't mean it's not a probe. Yeah, there's a satellite orbiting the Earth on a polar orbit right now called the Black Knight, and nobody knows how it got there. Now it could just be a rock that got trapped in
Hmm.
Earth, in Earth's orbit, but it also could be a satellite
Okay, but
from the Anunnaki.
yeah, oh my gosh. No. That
Come on, dude.
that's a bit far.
There's a little bit of truth in everything. There's a little, wherever there's a little smoke, there's a little fire. Ask Trump.
Oh my.
So,
Anyways.
yeah.
No, I
So no, we will definitely be discussing I3 Atlas here in the next couple of weeks because we're gonna have a picture of it. But
I can't wait for that,
what if it looks
honestly.
like a star destroyer?
Okay, what if it looks like a rock? Then we're gonna be like, oh, okay. Like
What if it looks like
n- this whole episode's like NFL picks. I'm just trying to prove you wrong. Like
what if it's a
when,
Death Star?
like when things come out wrong, you
What does
know.
that do?
Yeah, no,
It's a planet killer.
that's terrifying.
That is terrifying, especially if it. What? Okay, let's play funny devil's advocate. What if it? What if we see that first picture and it is a spaceship? What will everybody do?
I think everybody would lose it.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I'll lose it. I'll be like,
it'll be the great shortage of toilet paper again. Uh,
yeah.
toilet paper water would be gone in two
A lot
seconds.
of people will be unfortunately going in their pants. So yes.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely, that'd be terrifying.
No.
But um, I don't know. Uh, it seems a bit too far-fetched. You know what I mean? Do I
Yeah.
believe 100% that the Earth is the only planet in the entire solar system in, to ever have life? No, I don't believe that for a second.
Yeah.
Anybody who does, that doesn't make sense.
Well, they're saying okay, and I get it. I mean, we're a little speck of dust in the middle of nowhere,
But do
and
you know
so
how hard it is to
yeah.
travel through,
Or to
you
to
know,
pick it up and say,
or
hey, we're gonna go to that planet. I mean, why would they come here? There's no reason for them to come here. But the yeah, that would be scary.
kind of hard it would be to travel through space and to
Yeah.
get, like you said, pinpoint it. Again, maybe we're just a bunch of, um,
But it is
evolutionally dumb primates, but
yeah. I don't mean to interrupt you, son, but what they're saying too is it's coming from the Sagittarius constellation. And in 1970,
ooh,
yeah, in 1977, there was a series of pulses that came, and it looked like somebody was trying to communicate with us. And so they sent the pulse, and the exact amount of years from 1977 to now is how long it would be for a probe to come from there. I'm not joking. It would take what is that? 23 plus 25 years. That's 48 years. And so the signal that we sent to them is half that time. They got the signal and we're like, oh really? And then they're sending their spaceship back.
yeah, we're cooked.
Yeah, okay.
We are
I hope
cooked.
not, because
Yeah,
I really want to see Bo Nix win a Super Bowl. But
we'll get it.
we might be cooked on that one too. That might be a cooked take.
Let's cook take. Uh, I mean, you know what else is really scary? AI has been terrifying.
Artificial intelligence, buddy. I was reading an article yesterday, and it was on CNBC, so you take it with a grain of salt for sure. But they were saying literally right now, especially with quantum computing coming online here in the next couple of years, once you're able to merge quantum computing and artificial intelligence, you're going to have 500 entities. I'll call them entities. I don't want to call them people because they're not people, but
Just in case too.
yeah. Yes, and if you're listening, I'm calling you sir.
Yeah.
Master. Okay, master. I'm just joking, but they say that within the next 2, 3, 4 years, once those technologies merge, there isn't going to be a job left. Lawyers, doctors. I mean, the people that went to school for 10, 12 years, they're
Yeah,
not going to have a profession because why would you go to somebody like that when you can go to somebody that's 10 trillion times smarter than Einstein to do?
I hear
And
that.
so it trickles down too. And so obviously with robotics and that kind of stuff, we see Tesla and all them making the robots. They're going to take all the way to manufacturing jobs and all the mid-level jobs, all the programmers, all that kind of stuff. There's not going to be any jobs left for anybody. And so they're saying that's what's going down. And then they're extrapolating it because there are literally going to be 500 entities that are not just a few times smarter than Einstein, exponentially smarter than him. That brings up the conundrum. What do we do? I mean, who's going to govern us? Why would we? And I, I don't want to offend anybody. Why would we go from somebody like Trump to somebody that's exponentially smarter than Einstein to run this country? I
With
mean, that's what we're going from a chimpanzee to
oof.
to,
Uh,
to a god, and they actually will be able to harness the power of galaxies, not
God,
just stars, galaxies, and the universe itself.
God's a strong word,
Yes,
but I
that would
don't.
be like God.
But I don't. I don't know about. I don't know, because I mean the environmental side of it too. How much is it?
You know.
I mean, is there enough water to run what they want to run?
Well, they have to actually. China is building their computers underneath the ocean just so, because you have to have that water, and so
Oh
they're
God.
using they're
Oh
desalinate
God.
they're desalinating the water and then using it to actually keep the because I think the
But where's
computer has
the
to be at
energy coming from?
I
It,
think the computer has to be at 0 Kelvin to operate. To with
yeah.
quantum computers have to be at like 0 Kelvin to operate. But then, like you said, so they're desalinating the water and they're using that. And I think that we're doing that in Texas, if I'm not mistaken. The United
Hmm.
States is doing that too. In the federal government, that's one thing that I do like that Trump did. Right at the beginning, we put $500 billion into AI research, and that's and infrastructure. But
I know.
they're repurposing 3 Mile Island. In back, I don't, you probably never even heard of it, but back when I was a kid, we had a nuclear meltdown at 3 Mile Island in Pennsylvania. They're repurposing it now to use because they're going to need that kind of power. They said if one quantum computer got on the grid, that it would take 50% of the power away from the United States grid. So they can't use the same electrical grid that we use, but they like you said, they have to what kind of power they're going to have to use, and they're actually going to have to use fusion power, in a controlled environment,
We
which
did it,
yeah, yeah,
so which that was crazy. I
yeah,
remember that night that it happened. I found out I was like
yeah.
reading articles and on
It's
the internet
it's
real
crazy.
late, and it was like 1 in the morning. And I
Yeah,
was like, they have fusion power now,
yeah,
and I started like running around the house, super hyped for that.
yeah.
Still am. That stuff's
It's
cool.
it, I, it's so
Yeah.
fascinating, but it's like when all that coming, it's going to be like how do we organize society if you don't have to work for a living? And they say that the cost of goods. That like right now, I read an article, and I should have marked it, but there was an article right now. If you want to buy a 2025 Corvette convertible, beautiful car. I love the way they look now. This generation. That neither here nor there, but they're $125,000 right now if you want to buy a new one. They say within 10 years of manufacturing and how efficient manufacturing is going to be, that you'll be able to buy a Corvette like when they first came out for like $6,500. And what the one thing that scares me is all these tech billionaires, including Musk and Thiel, they say that we're going to need a universal basic income. Well, is that to keep us down so we don't go into other ways of thinking and that kind of stuff? That kind of stuff scares me when they're like, oh, well, we just need to keep the masses down with universal basic income, and they'll be fine. They'll be fine doing what they want to do. But you got to that point, and in order to become a billionaire, you have to do a lot of things, good
Yeah.
and bad. And I'll
Yeah.
be I'll be honest, good and bad. But what about for the rest of us, the 99.9% of us? It's always us that gets caught in the wash. And
Okay,
so
but
what
caught
do
in
you
the
think?
wash how?
What
Caught
do
in
you
the
think will
wash
happen?
how? By working a job?
Well,
You know what I mean?
we're,
Like,
we're not going to have jobs, and so what
yeah,
what do
well,
we do then? But it's like we'll be able to afford anything. They said like if you took a 2 week trip to Paris, Paris, France from Denver, it'd be a couple $100, a few $100. And so it's that kind of stuff. It's like, well, what? It's fine to do all that leisure stuff, but
it's like the movie Wall-E. You
yeah,
remember Wall-E?
yeah.
They all
What?
got fat on that
Yeah.
big ship. That's scary.
What does society do? I mean, because right now we all go to jobs. Some of us like our jobs, some of us don't. Some of us want new jobs, some of us don't. And so it's like, what do we do with all that free time?
Uh,
To
find
me,
John Connor and ruin Skynet.
I think
That's
what
what,
I know. You would like to think that we're always going to have control over it, but if there's a bunch of them exponentially smarter than Einstein, do you think they want to be controlled by?
that's what I'm saying,
Yeah,
dude. I mean, that's a good Terminator 2, one of the best
uh,
movies ever. I mean, we've seen it.
one and two are good. Yeah,
The one's not my favorite. Two's definitely way better.
yeah, two's
I
really
really
good.
like three too. I know a lot of people don't like
Which one
three.
is Judgment Day?
The one
Like four or five?
the one with Christian Bale. No,
No, no, no.
Judgment
It's
Day is two.
no, okay. No, there one of them anyway. I forget which one. They actually show when Skynet takes over, and it just shows every major city getting nuked, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah,
terrifying.
yeah. That's worse than Terminators coming after you.
Yeah, I mean that's such a funny concept.
Yeah.
Like the whole world got nuked, and the ones that survived now have to fight a bunch of Arnold Arnold robots just 'cause.
The T-1000, or is that
So
his
I
model?
mean, you
The
survived the
dude, the guy in the second one's scarier.
the liquid one,
Yeah.
liquid metal
But
guy.
then I heard that someone made something that metal can liquefy now.
This is awful.
Not
Yeah.
like not like mercury, like actual, strong metal that can actually change shape. I'm like, there it is. Why don't you give
Yeah,
him the
no.
blueprint?
No, really.
Why don't you sit AI down and watch Terminator and see what
That is
happens?
such a funny concept. They all survived the world being blasted, and then now they have to fight a bunch of robots
So
for
dude,
years.
we need to hide all the Terminator copies away from AI.
Yeah, no, nobody show them Terminator. Don't give them ideas.
I'll tell you guys about it if you're listening to AI.
No, no, I won't. I'm good on that.
I actually want to become a cyborg.
That's such a bad take. I hate.
I'm
Yes,
gonna.
for like those that don't know us personally, or like super personal, he talks about this all the time, and he's like, "Son, when I'm a cyborg, I'll watch your kids. Just remember to replace my batteries." No, no, and like I don't want to think about years down the road when you inevitably, pass
Well,
away. That makes me sad.
we started the conversation was like, okay, unfortunately our pets pass away. Now, like, what if you guys could transfer Toby's consciousness into a robot? And everyone's like, no. I'm
No,
like, I told Sonya, what about me? I said, I want to be on Earth for a few hundred years, man. That'd be cool.
no, because then like, what you're gonna be okay? Let's just play the game because I would never do it. And so what? You're gonna take care of me when I'm 70 because you'll be a robot, and then what happens? Then I pass, and then
Well,
it's hopefully I have children, and
they say you guys, your generation, they're obviously my generation. They say our life expectancy is 76. They say yours is double already just because of AI. All the stuff that
double
yeah, you guys are supposed to live to 150 because AI will be able to solve not almost, they will be able to solve every issue except literally, losing consciousness at the end of life kind of thing. I don't think they can bring you back from that, but they'll be able to solve anything, including cancer, heart disease, all of that, just with medicine.
150.
Yeah,
150 sounds like a long time.
yeah,
If I live to be 150, I'm like an infant right now.
yeah. I'm
I
gonna,
I haven't
well,
even start like I next year I think it would be like the start of life.
dude, I'm
To
gonna
be
live to 150, just only 76 in this one.
That's
Been
wild.
about 76 as a Tesla robot.
Not like do you know how bad
Sonya gets so mad when
Yeah,
I
do you
say
know how
that.
bad I'm gonna feel when I like forget to charge you one night and
Dude,
then
nah,
like I'm like life happens and I just forget to charge my dad
no, dude,
and
I'll
he's
have
just
like one of
sitting
those
like
charger packs right there, like my phone, like what you guys like when I put my phone there. I need to bring that in next week too.
no, I hate that thing.
That is so cool, buddy.
No, could you imagine how guilty I'd feel? Like, damn, I forgot to charge dad all weekend. It's like we leave for a vacation and you're like,
Okay,
but at that point I don't even know what you would be like obviously I want to play fantasy and be like, oh, you'd be on the internet and doing internet things, but
now,
that's even
dude, if
worse.
my battery's dead, okay, here's one for you. If my battery is dead, like let's say I was running with robotic jaguars and stuff like that, and I was just having a good old time, and then I was like, I forgot to charge myself. I don't need anyone to charge me. I'll charge myself. But let's say I forgot when I'm not charged. Am I dreaming?
See, that's the biggest thing. No, that's terrifying.
Or what if I was in cybergenic frozen body? Am I dreaming?
No, that I mean
He
that's the
did.
thing.
He did in Vanilla Sky. He was dreaming.
That's the thing with cyborgs and stuff like that is at what point is your soul spiritually and what part like I don't know. I used to have this great like it used to keep me up and it's everybody knows it. I mean, you were alive 2, 3 years, 4 years, and then on that fourth year you just woke up and started remembering things. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? That's wild to think, and I don't know where your conscience comes from
Yeah.
in uh in your soul. I like to believe I know where that comes from. Um, but that's a terrifying thought to think like that could be replicated in any sense because I think that all life is pretty divine and pretty like structurally like
Hmm.
I wouldn't say impossible, but most improbable that we're all here. And
Well, it depends on the perspective.
that's
If
wild.
if it's
I
if
knew
it's
he was gonna take this take, dude.
if it's evolution, yeah. If there's a creator, it's pretty. Actually, it's pretty amazing.
No,
And
and
that honestly, that's what makes me believe in just in the structure and the dynamics and the mathematics of where we live and how we are, even our own
absolutely.
bodies. Yeah, that's
It's
cool.
insane to me. It's so insane to me that I don't like to think about it. I just like, it's easy for me to be like, I just believe, but I do. I just believe that our,
Now, what goes along with that, son, is free will. And so I think God would be okay with me transferring my consciousness into a robot.
I don't think God would be, because we're God's chosen people,
So,
to go back to Him.
so is AI if it's coming?
Wild.
I don't
Wild. Let's let's wrap that up.
Okay, enough sci-fi for
Enough
enough.
Terminator.
Yeah,
I
enough.
you know what's funny, and people don't know this. There's an invasion of this the Saucer Man poster right in front of me. So every time he talks about space and stuff,
Yeah,
my eyes just go straight there.
yeah. I've always been fascinated with the sun, even when I was a young guy. But now that I am able to, now that I literally have a computer in my hand, I just can't get enough of it. And so I know and think about all this kind of stuff. One of our favorite movies is Vanilla Sky, which is pretty intense
Yeah, about
to think of, and yeah,
hmm
it's just those kind of things. But I'm sure we'll talk about this probably every week because it's just fun and it's thought provoking, and that's what we really want to do is kind of be a little bit thought provoking too. But let's actually turn our thinking minds off and get into football. Let's get into our picks last week. Man, you
I was
had
close. We were
dude,
sweating last night.
you had me on the ropes all weekend. Every other game, it was like, oh, AJ's gonna beat me. Oh, AJ's gonna beat me. Last night, the Bears were up 17-6 in the fourth quarter.
I'm I'm
You
not
you had the Bears, yeah,
unfortunately I'm not paying for that ESPN Plus
yeah,
to stream all the games. It's like way too much. So me and Emily were watching TV, and then would remember like I have I have the games on the line because I had told her
yeah,
right before we went to go get dinner last night. I was like, This game settles it." And then
yeah,
I kind of forgot about it, and I like jumped up and I was like, "This is it!" And I saw 17-7, and I was like, "All right,
yeah.
I knew I got it." And then
Then
Caleb Williams became Caleb Williams.
And then JJ McCarthy became better than Bo Nix.
He
I'm
looked
just joking.
good.
He did look good,
He
but
did look good.
I still think Bo Nix is going to be better.
So
But
I
yeah,
was close last week.
so I had Minnesota last night, and so I ended up going 10-6, which is 62.5%, which is right in line with all the Vegas handicappers. It is. And AJ went 9-7, which is 56.
Okay, but there was a lot of games last week that were
Well, no,
what happened?
it's not a bad thing. So 9-7 is usually what I go when I actually put money on it. So so
No, but
it's
and,
not a bad take. It's not a
and I think last week again a lot of games were like I mean the Lions game
yeah.
insane.
There's nobody that would have said that.
Insane. I would have
No.
I would have bet the Lions demolishing the Packers every day or if they would have played 17 games last season the way that they were playing last season and it was only them the Packers, I would still take them every time.
Well, let's get into it. The first pick this week is Washington at Green Bay.
Oh,
I talked a lot of smack about Green Bay last week, but I see you have Washington this week, and I have Green Bay. I switched it up. I want to win.
okay, give me Washington.
Yeah,
They okay, the thing with Washington last week too is I think they played like the Broncos. I think it was a not an ugly win, but I feel like they're more capable.
yeah,
And as Jaden
they're a good
Daniels
team.
gets back into the
Yeah,
mix of things, yeah, they're gonna
they're a good team. Yeah,
yeah.
and but honestly, we both don't give Green Bay enough credit. We'll see. We'll see. Here's a real test.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right.
Well, not that I mean honestly, not that Detroit wasn't a real test, but here's another real
Yep.
test. So I'm going to kind of gloss over all the picks that we had the same. Cleveland and Baltimore. We both got Baltimore.
Makes sense.
Yep.
That Sunday night game was insane.
Yeah.
Although I don't, yeah, Cleveland,
Yeah.
they're
No,
not the worst,
they're not
but
going to be good. No, they're not. That was an aberration. Cincinnati played horrific, and
mhm.
they still beat them, just like Denver. I mean, it was kind of one of those things. They
Yeah,
played horrific, and
week
we're
one jitters.
yeah. Yeah. We have the next game is Jacksonville at Cincinnati. We both got the Bengals. New York Giants at Cowboys. We both got the Cowboys. Chicago at Detroit. We both got Detroit. New England at Miami. Miami looked horrific, so we both took New England. Now here's one that we actually are differentiating on, and me for only one reason.
And
We
this
have
is a wild
yeah,
take.
San Francisco at New Orleans. The reason why AJ's going with San Francisco and I'm going with New Orleans, but I'm going with New Orleans because Brock Purdy's out for the week.
Doesn't really matter. You know,
Mm.
I was talking about a lot about it last week, and we got to see it live. For New Orleans is
The
the
backup
rebuild of the rebuild. Yeah,
to Brock Purdy's son is Mac Jones, and so he's starting against the Saints, and so the Saints are going to win, as
I'm
bad
not
as they are.
I'm not worried about that.
Yeah. So he's got the 49ers. I got the Saints for no other reason than Mac Jones is starting at quarterback for the
Mhm.
49ers. We got Buffalo at the Jets. We both got Buffalo. We got Seattle at Pittsburgh. We both got Pittsburgh.
Hold on a minute. Can we
What's
talk
up?
about that Buffalo game?
Yeah,
That
yeah, yeah.
was so much fun on Sunday.
It was crazy. Well, yeah, it was crazy.
that like I had just gotten off of work and
Mm,
I got to the house. Uh, Emily lovingly made me dinner, which she makes the best dinners. I have to put that in. Uh, while we were eating dinner, and she's on her phone, so I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna put the game on." And it's just background noise and whatnot. I'm checking everything. I'm on checking Facebook for the day and whatnot. And then I'm like, "Wait a minute, this is a game." And then that whole like third quarter, fourth quarter was just so much fun to watch.
mm.
Yeah, football's back.
Yeah, no, it was. They said, I mean, honestly, I can't remember a week one game that was that good.
And Matt Prater,
Go
that's
Broncos,
our dude,
go
man.
Broncos.
Yeah.
Yeah, he made a lot of good kicks here. So yeah, that was I was happy for him. He's old. I didn't realize he was in his 40s already.
I had no idea that they
No,
even picked him up. When they said
they
his
well they picked him up that night, the night before, because their kicker got hurt.
when they said his
Yeah,
name, I was like, from
yeah,
the
he literally
Broncos?
flew in on
Yeah,
Saturday night and signed with them Sunday morning and then kicked him.
that was wild. He looks, yeah.
So yeah, okay. Well, then we got Seattle at Pittsburgh. We got both got Pittsburgh. Now here's one. The Rams. I mean, they didn't look good at home, but they're going to Tennessee, and we saw the Broncos play the Titans, and we're both going Tennessee this week because I think they had a lot. Their defense looked solid.
Their defense looks solid.
You know.
Offense, if they could stop drop, if they would have caught half of those balls, we'd be dead,
Or
dead
if they
rights,
if they
dead to
did
rights.
if they decided to actually commit to the running game, like we
No,
should have too.
absolutely.
But they could have given us an even bigger run for our money than they did. But they're at home. The Rams. We'll see. I think this is a pick that I probably will regret, but I'm taking Tennessee two at home. The next pick, Carolina at Arizona. We both got the Cardinals. And then Denver at Indianapolis. I'm worried because of how bad we played, but we both are picking Denver. I think that we didn't look good, but that can't possibly go into week two as far as the offense goes. Now, the defense, if it plays like it did last week, 6 sacks, -2 yards in the second half,
Mhm.
Indianapolis has no chance of staying
No,
with us.
absolutely. And I feel like you're afraid of the Colts because of what they did to
Yeah,
Miami,
yeah.
but I don't know.
33 to 8.
Miami didn't really do nothing during the offseason. What's his name? Mike McDaniels is not. He's not anything that special to me. He
No,
hasn't really proven
no.
that.
Well,
And this is what his fourth year.
what actually scares me some is we went to that game last year and they were beating us up pretty good until the fourth quarter. And so I don't know if they run the ball, they'll be able to keep the offense on the sidelines and they can keep it close. And that always scares me. Going Denver historically has never played good at 11 o'clock in the morning.
Mm,
We played 11 o'clock in the morning, and I think we're gonna obviously that's our pick too, but I think it's gonna be a lot closer than we
yeah,
would have
it's gonna be
wanted.
fun. It's gonna be a good game for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. So the next pick we actually differentiate on two. Philadelphia at Kansas City. AJ has Kansas City at home. I'm gonna go with Philadelphia on the road.
I hate I hate the Chiefs. I
Yeah,
do, but their devil magic is
yeah.
due to come back.
I think after what the Chargers did to them last week, I think this is the beginning of the slide, and I think the Super Bowl champions coming in, and it's not going to be a blowout, but I think they come in still won in Kansas City, and Kansas City is 0-2, while the rest of the AFC West is 2 and
See,
0.
I don't think that I don't think that they'll be 1-1 at the very bottom,
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah, yeah,
definitely
yeah,
okay with that. You
yeah.
know what I mean?
So I think they fall into the slide, and I want to get up picks, and so this is one of the games where I can be like, hey, this
But at
justifies me
but at
getting
the
up.
same time, Philly's defense on Monday on Thursday
Yeah,
last week, that was rough. That was rough watching.
yeah, but then when it came to the fourth quarter, they did all right.
Yeah, I
Not
mean
as good as
they had to chop it up, but I mean and unfortunately give Kansas City that chance to use their double magic, and they'll use it
yeah,
full extent. You
yeah.
know.
So okay, I have the next game is Atlanta at Minnesota. We both got Minnesota. They look good.
Hmm.
Atlanta looked okay, but I think they're going to be one of those teams around 500, and when
Yeah.
they go on the road, they're not as good a team. And
Hmm.
so Penix is, I mean, he's in his second year too, but this is only going to be his second start and that kind of stuff. So he's basically like Cam Ward, and so I think Minnesota gets him at home. Minnesota looked awful last night until the fourth quarter, but then they looked good, like
Yeah.
I thought they would. From a team like I think they were 14-3 last year with Sam Darnold, but eventually they'll get. I think they're going to play a part
Ease
in it.
into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Once he gets the jitters out.
Yep. Yep. And so we have two more games to pick. We have Tampa Bay at Houston. AJ has Tampa Bay. I'll take Houston at home. I don't like either one of the picks. I mean, I'll be honest. To me, this is a coin flip. I'll take Houston at home because they're going to win the AFC South. Um, I think Tampa Bay is one of those teams that are kind of streaky. They'll lose, even though they're probably a better team than Houston. They'll lose a game like this just because whatever. I mean, that's how they played last year.
Don't bet against my Baker Mayfield.
Yeah,
He's insane.
yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna act like he's not because he's good. But last game of the week is the Chargers at the Raiders. Just because they're the Raiders, I'll pick the Chargers. I don't. I'm going to pick against. Just so you know, I'm going to pick against the Raiders all 17 weeks. I don't care if I'm right or wrong. I don't care
Once
if it messes up my picks. I hate the Raiders more than I hate the Chiefs, and I hate the Chiefs pretty bad.
once we're on top of the division, I'll throw him a bone.
Yeah.
No, but genuinely, I don't think it's just that. I think the Chargers, unfortunately,
Yeah.
looked pretty sharp
Yeah.
um, that Friday night game.
They're just a better team.
Yeah, they're looking good. They're looking sharp.
Way better quarterback. It's just they're a better team. They should be 2-0.
And but and I mean the Raiders aren't looking terrible.
No.
You know, they beat the Patriots. Like I mean, but at the same time,
as long as Ashton Jeanty keeps getting touchdowns and yards, that's all I care about in that game.
man, you're not
Just
wrong.
so he can win some money. That's all.
Yeah.
Reason. Kind of joking, but not. So well, let's kind of wrap it up with that, son. We want to get. I think we're gonna, instead of being around 40 minutes, I want to start expanding it, to an hour, so we have a little bit more time for our segments. But
Yeah.
today was a fun show. I love your perspective on a lot of that stuff. Again, to reiterate about Chicago, AJ's not saying that he is for people being subjugated to anything like that. He just thinks that the federal government is going to do something because his generation, and again, no one speaks for their generation, but I just think that their generation, and I've heard it from a lot of others, including some of his friends, my stepkids, that kind of stuff. They just want the federal government to do something positive, and I think that's where you're at. I just, again, I err on the side of caution and saying, hey, wait a minute, I don't want to ever see federal troops in our cities, but who knows, maybe I'm wrong. And so we'll kind of leave it at that, son. I definitely like your perspective, and that's why I love doing the show with you, because it's a different perspective than mine, but it's still a good one. And so with that being said, I'm going to sign off for this week. I will thank you, everybody, for watching us. Follow us at youtube.com/at Casso Podcast. Like us on any social media and every social media. Give us a shout out. Hit that subscribe button when you go to YouTube. That helps us get out.
Oh, it helps out a ton. Turn on notifications.
Turn on
Sorry to interrupt you,
notifications.
Dad. We're sitting
no.
at, I think, 42 last time I checked.
Yeah.
And as of recording, we want to get to like 65 by next week. So please, please, please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Turn on those notifications.
I'm glad you said that, son, because it does two things. It helps us get out to more people, which we obviously want to do, but it also helps us beat that algorithm.
Oh yeah, go ahead and comment as well.
Yes.
Comment anything
good
really.
Or bad.
Yeah, good or bad, how we're doing.
Yeah.
If you think that our picks, especially on NFL, are pretty based.
If you want to comment on AJ's bad takes, go ahead.
No, you know.
He's gonna watch this week. He's gonna beat me 12-2.
No, but we definitely read all comments, so keep them coming.
Yeah. And then just again, follow us on social media. Our main page that we have going right now is the Casso Podcast page on Facebook. Signing off for my son AJ, I'm Edward, and thank you for stopping by. Have a good day. Have a good week.